Hi, I think the government should have more control over the news media.
Oh no. Why?
The right-wing media has gotten completely out of hand.
What have they done?
They criticize the government. That can inspire people to do crazy things.
Like voting against liberal politicians?
Let's hope it never comes to that. I meant shooting people, or blowing up buildings.
Is it bad when liberals criticize Republicans in the government?
That's different.
How so?
When liberals criticize, they speak truth to power.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but it's very patriotic. It's not crazy.
Didn't you say the Bush administration was guilty of war crimes?
That's a straw man argument. I never said that.
Did your liberal friends say it?
Yes.
Did you agree with them?
Yes.
Sorry for jumping to conclusions.
The Tea Party inspires violence.
Is there any evidence of that?
I don't like the evidence-gathering part of journalism.
Oh. Which part do you like?
The one at the end, where my opinions become fact.
How does that work without evidence?
I feel like there's a connection.
What?
The Tea Party and violence are both bad things. That's the connection.
So if people do bad things, they're members of the Tea Party?
Unless proven otherwise. I wouldn't want to jump to conclusions by not accusing them.
Even if the violent person is a communist?
Well, the Tea Party is very unstructured. Anyone could be a member.
I thought you believed the Tea Party was narrow-minded and lacked diversity. But now they're so inclusive that everyone's a member?
Just the bad people.
So what's your answer?
More government. What was the question again?
You said the right-wing media was becoming too powerful.
Yes, we need the fairness doctrine to return a balance to talk radio.
How does it work?
The government makes things fair.
How?
I don't know the details, but it ends with Rush Limbaugh being forced off the air.
What don't you like about him?
He uses hate speech.
Like what?
He criticizes liberals.
How is that hate speech?
Because I hate it.
Should we bring the fairness doctrine to TV news? It's overwhelmingly liberal.
Sounds to me like it's already fair.
Would you also have the government take a closer look at Al Jazeera?
Actually, I heard Al Jazeera does some very good reporting. But basically we just need more left-wing media.
Who told you that?
The left-wing media. Also, the government should clamp down on Fox News.
Why?
Because it's not really news, if I disagree with the way it's presented.
Aren't you afraid of the government deciding what's news?
Afraid? That's the best part.
Suppose the Republicans had control of that.
The regulation would be done by nameless bureaucrats. That way, it's done by liberals regardless of who gets elected.
Don't you believe in freedom of speech or freedom of the press?
There are exceptions to those freedoms. For example, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Disagreeing with me is like that. It's dangerous.
That doesn't sound like an American perspective.
I consider myself a citizen of the world.
But you don't seem very open-minded.
I'm extremely open-minded. I'm willing to consider the ideas of all liberals, regardless of race, color, creed, or sexual orientation.
Would you listen to any non-liberals?
Progressives too.
What about conservatives?
I already know they have no opinions worth hearing. They're all prejudiced. I hate it when people prejudge others.
Now you sound hypocritical.
Hypocrisy is for conservatives. When liberals do it, they're being unintentionally ironic.
What's the difference?
Irony is very trendy these days. Also, I'm going to become a journalist.
Oh no. Why?
So I can change the world.
Oh. I thought maybe it was because you liked researching or interviewing people or something like that.
Only if it's absolutely necessary.
By change the world, I assume you mean in a good way?
I have good intentions, so how could I make a change that isn't good?
I'm sure you'll come up with a lot of ideas.
I'm a liberal. I'm here to improve things.
Would you mind doing that somewhere else?
Journalists are needed here to enlighten the common people and guide them toward a proper understanding of the world.
How are they qualified to do that?
They're the experts.
In what?
The news.
So they're experts in everything.
What's your point?
I guess I was wrong to think journalism is an easy major. I had no idea they were rigorously training to become philosopher kings.
I took women's studies. That's probably close enough.
For the liberal media, I suspect it is.
Journalists also have to look good on television. Preferably. In a worst-case scenario, they can just write stuff.
Don't forget all the research and evidence gathering.
Don't they have people to do that?
Yeah, themselves.
I'd rather stay in Washington, D.C. where all the other important people live. If something happens outside the Beltway, someone can send me an email.
With such thorough research methods, I wonder how inaccuracy could ever creep into your work.
I can filter out all the inaccurate stuff.
How?
I can use my liberal worldview as a guide. If anything contradicts it, I know it either didn't really happen, or wasn't worth reporting.
Interesting. So what do you remember about the conversation we just had?
The Tea Party was found responsible for something bad. Also, I think you said, or did something racist. I'll look into it.
I see a Pulitzer Prize in your future.